Judi here, and welcome back to another Combining Your Villagers video, where we essentially take your favorite villagers, mash them together, and create something entirely new. Basically, we see what it might look like if there was a next generation of villagers within your game. So for our last video, we combined Marty and Maple and got this adorable villager here. You also offered some adorable names for her like Margot and May. Maggie is super cute, and Honey, absolutely adorable. Now today, I'm going to be asking for your help not only in naming the villager that we create, but there's someone else rather important you'll be meeting soon who also needs a name. So today we are going to be combining Wolfgang and Whitney, and I had a lot of fun working on this combination. I spent a lot longer on it than I intended to, but I wanted to add some details and stuff and really make sure that they have elements from both parents. I also feel like this villager has some of the coolest parent pair you could possibly have in Animal Crossing. Like, Wolfgang is such a chill, cool guy, and then Whitney with her like snooty personality, she's so ladylike and stuff, and she was actually in the original Animal Crossing movie, and I just remember the first time I saw that movie and I saw her, I was like, she's so like glamorous and proper. Like, I aspired to be like that. See, when I was a child, I really wanted to be one of those girls that plays with the nail polish and the makeup and the pretty dresses, but I was way too busy working on my extensive rock collection, which I still have, and also playing with earthworms, which I still do. So really, I haven't changed at all. But anyways, so far I've just tried to make some different layers and clippings to see how I want to merge these villagers together. And then I spent a very long amount of time reconstructing this eye, but I like the way it turned out. My idea was to make it like Whitney's eye, but then have some elements of Wolfgang's eyes as well. So I'm including orange eyeshadow as a reference to his typical eyelids, and I'm also adding a sparkle to the eye, similar to his eyes as well. I also added just a bit of extra shading just to really make the eye pop. Once I was happy with the eye shape and color, I moved on to working on the fur pattern again, and originally I was sticking with Wolfgang's original colors but more of the features of Whitney, but in the end I figured maybe it would be better to use a combination of their fur patterns to make a more pastel version of Wolfgang's colors. And then that further changed to completely getting rid of the yellow and just doing more of a gray and white wolf. But we'll get there when we get there. At this point, I was still having a lot of fun trying to create a tricolor pattern. For the outfit, I just conveniently borrowed Wolfgang's jacket. His jacket is perfect. Honestly, if I had that jacket, I would wear it every day. Plus, I think it's kind of cute to think that she might have borrowed it from him. At this point, I realized she had a very strong resemblance to her father, and I decided to bring in a little bit more Whitney with some of the features. Adding the forehead swivel in a way that made sense and looked right proved to be one of the hardest parts of this entire villager. Like, I spent a while trying to find a way to sort of create an ombre effect to blend it into the forehead without just looking like somebody smeared some butter on the top of her head. I also borrowed a little strip of Wolfgang's forehead to create some more fur texture on the part that I drew in. This is a very small difference, but even just that little bit of green really adds a lot of definition to the villager. I didn't not like her at this point, but I thought the yellow above the eyelid was a bit much. Like, I think I wanted to include more markings and details on this villager, but I was feeling like I went a bit overboard, so I decided to get rid of the eyelid and make it darker instead. And I ended up basically moving, like making, you know when people draw eyeliner but they draw it like above their eyelid? Like, I did that effect basically. I wanted her to have really defined, elegant features, and I think that this was a good move. Now, while we're fixing the other eye to make them symmetrical, I want to talk about the other naming task we have today. So for any of you who might be new here, alongside Animal Crossing content, I also post videos about my foster pets and animal care, and tomorrow I'm going to be picking up a new foster dog, so we need a name for her. And usually how I do this is I'll put a question sticker on my Instagram story, and then you can write your names there, and then I put all of them on a list, and then we do a couple rounds of voting on stories. So feel free to go leave some name suggestions there. I'm going to post the question sticker at the same time as this video goes up so we can get a name for her. I think one of my favorite pet name poll results was Teddy and Bear for these puppies. That was such a cute combination, and also they were both so cuddly and so sweet, so it was perfect for them. Here's when I realized that the blue and yellow fur just wasn't doing it for me. It was just too much. There's just too much color, too much contrast, so I thought I would change the top of the snout to be blue to blend it in a bit better. And once again, I'm using other patches of fur just to make sure that the texture stays consistent. And also, she has a green nose. Let's just adjust that a little bit. Then here I'm brightening up the lower jaw because I do still want to have that detail in the face, just not as much as before. And then I went ahead and softened up the edges to give it a more natural look. And once again, using little squares of fur to add texture. And as I was shading the nose and adding my shadows and highlights, I realized that something was still off for me, and I wanted to change up the color scheme to something more in the middle ground between Whitney and Wolfgang. So I created a new layer with a selection mask covering all of the fur pattern, and that's when I accidentally made it monochrome and kind of fell in love with it. Like, how cool does a Siberian husky villager look? Once I desaturated the fur, I could just add little tints of color. So I wanted her to have the tint of Wolfgang, but then she could have the overall monochromatic tone of Whitney. And finally, after the recoloring, all that's really left to do is add some shadows, highlights, and finishing touches. And there she is! What do you think? Would you invite her to your island? Let me know in the comments what you think her name might be. I am really happy with the way she turned out. I think she looks like she's really, really cool and would be really fun to get to know. Also Nintendo, if you ever somehow see this video, Husky Villagers, when? Anyways, that's all for today's video. Let me know which villagers you'd like to see combined next. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and week, and I will see you all soon. Bye everybody!